An NYPD officer suspended, accused of opening fire on the husband of his girlfriend. Final dismissal notices sent to unvaccinated NYPD officers told to get the jab by Friday or lose their jobs. A man police say robbed 7 different food carts and restaurants on the Upper West Side behind bars tonight. And in Brooklyn, community training, helping residents to fight back against the spike in anti-Asian crimes. 62 degrees and sunshine in Central Park, down to the lower 50s overnight, but back to the low 60s tomorrow. Slightly cooler temperatures expected during the work week. It's Saturday, April 23rd. I'm Andrew Whitman. Now the latest from NBS News at the top of the hour. It's 2 p.m. WNBS News Time 2:03. An NYPD officer suspended without pay, accused of opening fire on a man in Brownsville, the husband of a woman the officer had reportedly been sleeping with. The shooting happened early Friday night, but as WNBS's Jack Rudolph explains, that officer isn't facing criminal charges. Get vaccinated against COVID by Friday or find another line of work. That's the message from the NYPD in an email to a group of officers. They're among the more than 6,000 NYPD employees who appealed the department's vaccination order last year. And as WNBS's Lucy Kenwright tells us, some of those officers say they're still waiting for decisions from their still pending appeals. WNBS News Time 2:06. Police say they've nabbed the man responsible for a 3-week string of robberies on the Upper West Side. WNBS reporter Ricky Tahoe has more on the man police say targeted restaurants, food carts, and their customers. They were trying to tag a subway car with graffiti when they were struck and killed by a moving train. That's the conclusion of the NYPD, which has identified the bodies of 2 men found Wednesday as graffiti artists from France, 34-year-old Julien Blanc and 28-year-old Pierre Audebert. Their bodies were found near the Sutler Avenue Rutland Road station in Brownsville Wednesday morning. Seat Fouad, a friend and colleague of the two, tells WNBS he had dinner with the men the night before their deaths, but that they said nothing of plans to try and tag a subway train. Police believe the men were struck and killed late Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning. WNBS News Time 2:08. Time for traffic and weather together. Traffic's up first. Cal Shanley ready to help you get where you're going this Saturday. Cal? To the WNBS Weather Center now and meteorologist Samantha Lee. Samantha, we are certainly soaking in the Saturday sunshine, but the question is, how long will it last? That's Samantha Lee in the Weather Center. Thanks very much, Sam. WNBS News Time 2:10. Mayor Eric Adams says he wants the city to spend $904 million to improve traffic safety in the city, but that's $2.2 billion less than the city council is asking for as budget negotiations continue. Traffic deaths are up 44% in the first quarter of 2022. Half of those killed have been pedestrians. It's the deadliest year for New York City pedestrians since the launch of the Vision Zero program in 2014. And the head of the nonprofit safety advocacy group Transportation Alternatives says the city has fallen behind on promises to make streets safer for pedestrians and cyclists. The group also says the city has fallen behind on commitments to add hundreds of miles of protected bike and bus lanes. As anti-Asian crimes continue to spike across New York and the nation, people in Sunset Park, Brooklyn are taking action. A safety training session was held in the park earlier today, teaching residents how to identify potential threats, ways to respond to attacks, and basic first aid skills. It was part of the Hope Against Hate campaign and was organized by a trio of nonprofit groups. 35% of residents in Sunset Park are Asian. The neighborhood was the site of a subway shooting on April 12th that left 23 people injured. The number of anti-Asian hate crimes in the city has dramatically increased since the start of the pandemic in 2020, so much so that New York City now reports more anti-Asian assaults than anywhere else in the United States.